Jeg ligger nede.
En til høyre, en til høyre.
Fikk du han?
Nei.
Hvor?
Han løper til muren.
Jeg ser han. Det er en player.
Er du i livet, eller er du død?
Ja, jeg krekker han. Jeg fikk han! Sup, beautiful and lovely gamers. My name is Jonal. This is Escape from Tarkov, and this game is absolutely amazing. Now, I've been talking about, you know, I'll start covering other games than just Overwatch on this channel in case something happens to Overwatch, in case it dies, or for some reason in the future I get tired of it, or you never know what happens. So to keep this gaming community stable, positivity, helping people and gamers all alike, I will also start covering more video games, since I'm not just an Overwatch guy, even though that's 90% of what I'm interested in. I also interested myself in overall gaming, FPS gaming, and this game is such an amazing game, okay? And I love it, and I hate it. It's a little bit frustrating from time to time, but I'm touching on that a little bit later. This is a hardcore game. I mean, really hardcore. It's a hardcore, realistic survival FPS. And if you're not familiar with Escape from Tarkov, this is a quick summary. First of all, you have your stash. This is your stash. To my right, this is essentially my character. Here I can store all my loot. Loot important in Tarkov, because essentially what you do, you go on these raids, which essentially means you spawn in on certain maps. There you can find loot in chests. You can find it by killing other players and taking all their loot. Or you can kill bots and then take the bots' loot. Or you can kill bots that are controlled by player and then take their loot. Then you need to extract with this, and if you extract with the loot, you get to keep it and can bring it in on a future raid. You can also sell it, of course, to NPCs for money, and for those NPCs, which also gives you quests, and the more quests you do, or more favors you do them, the better loot you can buy from them. But then you can buy, well, weapons and gear, and this does that you don't have to farm and grind for a long time, because it's really easy to make a decent amount of money, which really you can go with high value loot a lot of the times, or all the time. And it's so a satisfying game if you really like hardcore FPS, if you like hardcore shooters and you love realistic shooters. I believe this is a game for you. Now let's talk about weapons, because that's one of the most important things, of course, in FPS. It doesn't matter how good the graphics are or anything like that, if the weapon and gun game isn't fun. And now, these weapons are customizable down to the smallest detail. And it's actually a realistic customizable system. What you normally see in FPS games, like, oh, you want to attach a foregrip, okay, boop, it magically just appeared. If you want a foregrip on Tarkov, you actually need to have a railing or a modding system on your gun to actually attach the railing. You don't need to buy, you know, bolts and shit like that. That's a little bit too detailed for my opinion, but you need to buy that. The same would if you want an optic, you can't just slam it on top of nothing. You need a railing or mounting system that you would in real life that's compatible with your weapon to attach it. These are fairly easy to get later in the game. I can mostly always get an optic on any weapon I want, as long as I have an optic, and mostly of the good optics I can still buy from NPCs without too much effort. But so much customizable that you can do in this game, it just makes me just always want to get a gun or a new gun, because I can only be like, okay, how do I want to attach it? How do I want to get it out after the situation? And I love it. I think that is so amazing. The gunplay is, well, it's hardcore. It's not a laser gun system, which I personally enjoy. If it's laser beam accurate guns, those games can be fun, but in the long run, they don't really take a lot of skill. They just take a lot of, I'm really good at locking onto my opponent. Compared to here, there's a lot of recoil patterns. Well, not recoil patterns, it's just in general a lot of recoil. You need to be very accurate and able to stable, tap firing, full autoing, and stuff like that. And in general, it's really good. And trust me, there's nothing more satisfying than gunning down someone and absolutely destroying them mechanically. It's one of the best feelings to manage to just in a quick succession, just like quickly gun down multiple opponents. You hear more people running on the corner, you take them down as well, and really just doing that, quickly reloading a gun with a tactical reload, which you can do where you, instead of taking the magazine back into your inventory, you just like drop it on the ground, like fuck that, and then immediately slinks in another one, loads that bullet into the chamber, and then you're good to go to take on the next opponents. It's such a feeling of adrenaline, and I absolutely love it. Now, how do you gain loot and stuff like that? Well, there are raids. Now, raids is essentially just their way of saying you spawn into a map. There's different maps, and right now I think there's like 4 or 5 different maps available. Factory is a map that's limited, you know, it's inside this factory. Of course, it's CQB, close range, fast-paced action, smaller amount of spawns for players. There's not that many people that can spawn into that map. And essentially, it's not like everyone shares the map. Each map is essentially a lobby. So it's kind of like in Overwatch, where you'll pick, okay, I pick quick play, and then, oh, you got Anubis, now it's 6v6 on Anubis. This is, oh, I pick factory, and now, okay, there's me and maybe 4 other players right now in that lobby. As soon as I wipe these players out, it's only gonna be me in that lobby, and then bots. And the bots can also be controlled by players. I'm gonna talk a little bit about that later. Now, of course, it can be frustrating when you lose loot, especially when you sometimes lose loot because, you know, you didn't check your sideline or something like that, and then all of a sudden there was another guy there, especially when you have really valuable loot on it. I have lost an M16, like, or I think it's an M4 actually, like 3 times in a row because I got killed really early on without even being allowed to kill anyone. And that's of course frustrating, but what is the satisfying is, you know, okay, fine, if you get taken down in a firefight, that's just me being bad. And besides that, normally I don't get taken down that easily. Normally it's all about, you know, methodical gameplay, using your audio cues, and then actually using your brain to survive. But it's okay. It's always frustrating to lose loot, especially, you know, when you pulse, you wiped a lot of people, especially when you owned them. You absolutely just destroyed them. You had no loot really, and they had like insane loot. You crushed them. You take that loot, you try to extract with it, and then you get killed by another player. That's always a sour taste in your mouth. But personally, you know, you learn that the loot is so easy to come by compared to, you know, some other games where you have to grind for so long to just get something on your hands. That it's fine if you lose some. It's just how it goes. You lose some, you gain some. Gaining loot, however, is what is so amazing. Being able to, you know, gain a lot of loot and doing that, you know, whole, okay, I got all this nice stuff, now I need to escape with it, because that's how it works. There are different extraction points around the map, and that's how you leave. And then if you get to the extraction point, you leave, you take all the loot in your inventory, and if you die, you lose everything, except you never lose your melee weapon, so that's so that you can run in with just a melee weapon if you want to. And you never lose, you have what's called a secure alpha container. That one you never loses, and the 4 slots inside of there, you also never lose those items. Which is great, because you can run then something called a hatchet run, which essentially is, I have my hatchet on, or my knife, or whatever melee weapon I use, and then I have my secure alpha container. I can run to a high loot area. I can then take, you know, the money or the jewelry or even a pistol, because a pistol only takes 2 slots, or something like that, into my secure alpha container. And even if I die now, I still keep that. Like, I still gain. Also, dog tags, which is you kill a player, he has then a dog tag on if it's a player. And after what level he was, you get more money. So you can sell those to the NPC for quite the value. So sometimes, you know, I can go in there with just a hatchet. I can kill one guy with a weapon, because if you're just smart enough about it, or just skilled enough in strafing, or if it's just a stupid bot, a lot of time you can kill him, get like, maybe you got a pistol, and with that pistol, you can just like frag out really well, take out people with way better gear than you, and then you can take all their dog tags, and even if you then die with, you know, the shotgun that you got in the end, you still keep those 4 dog tags. That can be a lot of money in game, and buy you way better weapons and gear from the NPCs with just that little run. And normally a hatching run, if you go to factory, it doesn't take a long time to get any form of proper value out of it. Now, if you have something really good, like if you have an M4, which is one of the best weapons in the game, or you have a really cool sniper rifle, or just in general you have a really decked out gun with attachments and stuff like that, then you can insure it at the NPC. So before you go into a raid, they will ask you, is there anything that you want to insure? And that essentially means if I die with my M4, which I've done, as I said, 3 times in a row, and it's like my decked out M4 with a scope, it has a foregrip, it has a 60 round drum mag on it, which I found in a raid. Essentially, it's really nice. If I die with that one on me, and no one else, not another player, doesn't go and pick it up and manages to extract with them themselves, I think I have a percentage chance of it, or else I will receive it back from this NPC. And in general, I have, as I said, if there's a percentage chance, it's really low, but if I remember correctly, you will just receive it back with a 100% guarantee. And well, this is really nice when you have really valuable items, something like that, Also, if you go in with squads or multiple people, a lot of time, even if you die, they can manage to just loot your body for you, take your weapon, and then drop it somewhere hidden so that no one will pick it up, and then you will most likely receive it. So that's a good way if you have a really rare weapon, like one of the rare sniper rifles. You can still a lot of time get that back with insurance, which I think is a good system. Now the combat and the healing is very realistic. As I said, you know, you need to have a tactical vest on you. If you don't have a tactical vest on you, it can be very hard to reload your weapon, stuff like that. That's essentially, if you have stuff in your backpack, you can't just magically pull that out of the backpack, right? Because this is realistic. So normally having something like a combat rig on you do that you can reload the magazine of your assault rifles, right? Because they take 2 slots. The only thing you can work from besides that, I believe, is your pockets, and they only have 1 slot each. You can't fucking put a 60-round magazine in your pocket of your jeans and then just magically reload from there. I find that to be really cool, that you need to gear up properly if you want to use proper weapon. The combat is fast-paced. Headshot is 1-tap kills. You can have helmet on, which reduce that, of course, and the same with your body. You can have body armor to reduce that. There are different bullet types that does different stuff. So there are armor-piercing rounds, like there would be in real life, which, as it says, has better chance of dealing damage to your body even though you have armor on you. And then there are, you know, something like a hollow point. So essentially, when you hit someone, that has greater chance of creating bleeding and stuff like that, and just works good at just standard soft tissue, standard human flesh, compared to what it would do against body armor. Now your body has, well, a system. So each body part has a certain amount of health, and if that body part gets reduced to 0, you cannot heal that anymore. There are healing items and all that stuff. So essentially, if I get shot in my leg, and my leg essentially is at 0 health, that means it's so badly injured that I can't just use a bandage around it and heal it up. Then I will start limping all over the place. And if I get shot in the chest, a lot of time you will hear very heavy breathing, which can give away my position. Shot in the arm, all of a sudden it's harder to keep your weapon steady. That thing is quite the realistic system. There are, as I said, if you can also start bleeding, so if you get shot by something like a hollow point, you will start bleeding, and that will then do damage over time, and unless you have a bandage on you, you will, in the end, bleed to death. Now this also does that well. It's very important to target certain parts of the area. If, for example, I have if I have a handgun and I see, okay, there's a guy, I'm not really that scared of him, but I want to kill him. For example, a guy that only has a melee weapon on him. He's doing a hatchet run, and I want to kill him because I want his dog tag. As I said, they're worth quite the amount of money. If I see him sprinting away from me and I'm not sure if I can hit him, I'll gun at his feet. That way I'll make him start limping so I can easily catch up to him and finish the kill, instead of trying to go for something like the head. However, if I see someone that's very high value that doesn't have a helmet on, or if he has like one of the bad helmets, and I have, for example, an AK-47, I will immediately go after the headshot to try to just penetrate that helmet and kill him fast. If he has a higher tier helmet, I might go after his legs because he doesn't have any protection on those legs. And that way you kind of can target certain parts of the body after what you believe the loot they have, which puts an extra layer to that combat system. And as I said, you know, if you get shot your leg out or something like that, you feel your character is starting to limp, which of course in a game like this, mobility and being able to be silent. Also, when you limp, your aim get put off because, of course, you're limping like you would in real life. You can use painkillers, and essentially painkillers just negates all of these by effect because you're drugged up on painkillers, so you don't feel that pain until they run out. Bandages is to stop bleeding, and then there are healing items that can heal up body parts that has not been fully destroyed yet. This is Escape from Tarkov. Definitely go and check that out. I will link it down in the description. I found this game to be so much fun. If you like looting and these high action adrenaline stuff like that, and I will start covering this a little bit on the channel. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, then like and dislike. If you didn't, you can come and watch me live on Twitch. Link that's in the description. Also join the Discord community to talk to people. There is a meme. You can get help with any game, but a lot of time focus on Overwatch, of course. That's what the community is big on right now. I hope this is acceptable content for you guys. I definitely appreciate the amazing support. If you made it this far, then drop that down in the comment, because, well, that means that you're an awesome person that really helps me support the channel and keep me motivated. Sorry for a long video. As always, guys, my name has been Jonal. Stay positive and keep the enemy in your crosshair.